What were your first impression of the UK upon arrival? Were there any immediate cultural shocks?
Yeah, from my end, let me say the change of things started from the airport. The moment I boarded the airport, I started experiencing a kind of a better way of doing things, better organizations from the airport, from the plane, the way the staff address you. I know that I noticed that they address you with more respect compared to where you are coming from. And upon arrival, I saw a more, let me say, well organized and structured environment, you know, where you will see that, okay, this supposed to be here, you see it there. This supposed to be here, you see it there. So it's more of a very planned society. And I was like, wow, this is where I think someone is likely going to do better. Because no matter your plan, if you are in an environment where things are not being done rightly, it may affect your productivity. And upon settling down, I actually came in as a master student then.
Oh, okay.
So even going to the school, you see a school with a better structure, better way of doing things. Everything is kind of different, though it's not really perfect, as rightly said by my colleagues here. But then you can't compare it to where we're coming from, and it's quite unfortunate because the guys here colonize us, so we ought to do things the way they are doing their own. But unfortunately, and since being here, I noticed that to a large extent, as a worker, you are being treated fairly with others without discrimination. And most importantly, you are being paid based on the service you deliver
Hmm.
compared to where I'm coming from. You know, then you will work 3 4 months, you won't be paid.
Yeah.
That was why I said in my introductory part that due to the economic reality, you can't imagine going to work every day and you are not being paid.
Good. Yeah.
So how will you survive? So, but here, nobody has ever owed me a dime. You work, you get paid. You don't work, you are not being paid. So it's just a perfect way. If you know that you don't want to, you are tired of working, then you don't deserve to be paid. You know, and every other things, health, education, infrastructure, is really worth living.
So, what advice would you give to Nigerians who are considering moving to the UK? What should they prepare for, both practically and emotionally?
I will say that whoever that wish to move should move. I won't discourage anyone.
So, what plan do you
And
think?
and what I will say is that coming to the UK, you have to prepare. You prepare ahead because you are going to a new environment where things are being done differently. And your preparation should cut across to some of the things have been mentioned by my colleagues. Your personal skills. Are you coming here? Is it for education or you are coming to work directly? If you are coming to work directly, that means you have to have a skills. Even if you are coming for education, you still need to have a skills so that you'll be able to work and finance your education. And also, emotionally, you have to prepare your mind because you are likely going to live a more of a lonely life because the social setting in the UK is quite different, especially for we migrating from a place where our social life is, let me say, hyper. You know, I remember back then in Nigeria, we go to party almost every weekend. Here, you may be here for 6 months without attending any party. You may not even know your neighbors, so nobody will talk to you. So prepare your mind that condition may warrant that you are likely going to stay alone. You are likely to going to be lonely, so that you won't be depressed. You must prepare your mind towards that. And also, the working schedule of the UK could be stressful. So you should also have to prepare your mind that you are coming here to work. because if you don't work, you can't pay your bills. So it's not a place for an idle man, or a place where you think you want to demonstrate some kind of laziness. Nobody will bear the burden of your bill, so you have to keep on working. So, and I think in all, regardless of the way the whole maybe the working or the stress is, the system is there to help you, and is quite good that it can sustain you at the end.
Okay. How would you describe your experience with the UK health care system compared to Nigeria? What should newcomer be aware of?
I think UK health sector is not also a perfect one, just like Nigeria. But then they both have advantage and disadvantage. Now, personally, my first experience, my first experience in UK in the health sector, I felt disappointed.
Wow.
You know, I called ambulance around this time. Yeah, that should be maybe some minutes to 11 p.m. in the night. So I was having a serious abdominal pain.
Okay.
We called ambulance. They never arrived until about 45 minutes after the call. And when I spoke to them on phone, with my medical background, I was able to tell them that I was able to give a diagnosis of what is wrong with me. Come on, guys, I'm having serious abdominal pain. I'm a peptic ulcer disease patient. Help me out. Those guys came about 45 minutes after without any drug. Without any drug. Even with when I called as an emergency, there's supposed to be a first aid.
Yeah.
As small as omeprazole. As small as omeprazole, nobody offers me that. Or Bismarck. So it was after they came, they assessed me, blah blah blah, and then I felt disappointed, honestly, you know. And even by telling them how serious the pain was, you know, though that might not be the experience of other people, but that is my personal experience.
Wow.
And this experience is actually related to what some people do experience in Nigeria. Because if such a thing has happened to me in Nigeria, I can quickly go to a chemist, prescribe for myself, and get it sorted out.
Yeah.
Yes, but and that is what people planning to come to the UK should know. Is you don't get drug easily like that. You don't just go to the chemist and say you want to buy this. But then, based on I was a newcomer, if I ever knew I could get mismark from Tesco or Audi, I would have just gone there.
Yeah.
I would have just gone there, but I didn't have such knowledge.
Experience is extremely important. Information is key.
Yeah.
Meeting the right people at the right time to give you like the right information is extremely important because your life, your health is extremely important. We shouldn't joke with it here. Health is where that is what I wanted to say. Yeah.
One thing the UK health system has been able to get rightly is the issue of health insurance. You are not really paying directly out of pocket payment for your medical treatment, though one way or the other you are paying because from your salary there is certain amount of money that will be deducted every salary that you have been paid, maybe through NI or through your tax. Those things have been channeled to your head, and it subsidizes health for you when you actually need the health. So and that is what Nigeria has not been able to get rightly. Because from personal experience, I've seen patients coming to the hospital and cannot afford a PCV of, then it was maybe 100 naira or 200 naira. Somebody a drug that you prescribe that's supposed to have been used since yesterday,
Yeah.
they can't afford it.
Wow.
Those things will not happen in the UK.
In the UK or in Nigeria?
It won't happen in the UK, but it happens in Nigeria a lot
Yeah.
because people have to pay for medical treatment directly from their pocket, not by proxy that the UK is doing. You know, and I think health insurance has not been able to work effectively in Nigeria, and that is working fine in the UK.
Wow.
And that is major landmark that has really distinguished the two health system.
Wow.
But in time of accessibility, Nigeria is still more you can still access health more easily in Nigeria compared to UK here.
Thank you very much.